Rich, St Helens this week, a chance to really build on the last two performances?
Yeah, absolutely. In every facet, really. I thought defensively we've been pretty good over the last 2 weeks, and it's a real confidence boost for our guys. To post the amount of points that we did, and again spirit wise, and getting everyone behind us to do it with 12 men again. So many positives to take out of that. But we're playing the benchmark this week. I think they've only lost 3 games this year. 2 with what you describe leaving the best players out of the team down at London. So we know we're going to face a really strong challenge. A team that, in my opinion, probably not the biggest team, especially when you take Alex Walmsley out of there, who's not playing this week. But the speed, the leg speed that they've got, the punch from their outside backs. It's no wonder that they're topping, all the important attacking stats, but defensively they're very strong too. So yeah, as I say, benchmark. They got Wembley next week. I think there were a fair bit of conjecture. What sort of team they've sent? They sent a strong one, which obviously they want to run themselves in for what is a big game next week. So we're expecting a massive challenge, and I think for us, be a real good benchmark for us. We feel we've been chugging along all right and sort of improving in a lot of areas. We've played a couple of top 3, top 4 teams in Hull and Wigan, and just fallen short in games we felt we could have won. So we're going to face a bigger challenge. So it'd be interesting for us to see how we measure up again, as I say, the benchmark of the competition.
Do you think that's a backhanded compliment, the fact they've gone so strong for this game?
There's one thing I think they have done. I think they've earned the right to do what they want with the team. There's plenty of people, I guess, raising eyebrows that playing London, they've gone with some weaker teams down there, and it's really shaken up the bottom of the table in terms of points. But I would say they've earned that right, and I don't mind saying this, speaking to Sean Long earlier in the year and watching how they were playing, sort of had a conversation with him about, I think for them it's all about peaking at the right time when it comes to Challenge Cup final and when it comes to the playoff games and maybe the grand final for them. So, as I say, they've absolutely earned the right. I think when they throw the kids in, they're exceptionally good, talented kids that are capable of winning the game. And I can understand them wanting to put a strong side out. So, a number of guys are not going into a Challenge Cup final, probably having not had too much game time in the last month of football. It's been a bit more difficult to preview, one because we didn't know the makeup of the team, still don't, and they've had so many permutations in the pivots over the last sort of month that he's been, seen some different looks from them. But nonetheless, I think as we have done for the last 7 or 8 weeks, we'll be more concentrating on our own performance.
From a coach's point of view, Justin Holbrook obviously leaving them at the end of the season. Yep. What sort of contribution do you think he's made to Saints and Super League overall, the style he's brought there?
Yeah, he's a terrific guy, Justin. I got to know him in Australia a fair bit when he was working at the Roosters. He had a fairly immediate impact on Saints, and he's managed to continue it on. I'm pretty certain that the legacy he'll want to leave is a bit of silverware. They've been right up there and one of the best teams right throughout his tenure, and at the moment, they're a long way, a long way in front of most teams in the comp. They're playing at a different speed to everyone else, and the relentless nature in which they play is a real compliment to him. So I'm sure he's going to want to finish on a real high note, and his players will be right behind him in that. But yeah, he's left a short but very sweet imprint within our competition.
Looking at your own side, is it a question of building on the last 2 performances in terms of momentum and keeping that continuity within the group?
Yeah, for sure. I think you watch us train too, and you've seen us this morning. I think the boys are in good spirits. Definitely know the size of the challenge in front of them tomorrow, but we want to continue this momentum right throughout the year. For us, there'll be no rest. We're not going to rest until we get, I guess, the relegation stuff mathematically certain. There's plenty of people saying we've got enough points now, and that may well be the case, but that's not something we want to sort of leave to chance or put our cue in the rack when it's mathematically done. We've got a fit and healthy squad, and a squad that I think are really enjoying the football at the moment. So I think it's important for us, as a team, as individuals, but importantly for our fans as well. They've had a fairly, how can I say, anxious and concerning time for a while, and they've been marvellous. Particularly, we mentioned it last week on the man send off and stuff like that. So we want to have a really strong and positive end to the season. So the squad can carry it into next year.
And looking at your squad, Stevie Ward's been back in training for the last few weeks. You pleased with the progress he's making?
Yeah, making good progress. I think, as we've said all along, we're going to be really careful with Stevie. He's had a long injury, and his injury history is one that it's been a difficult one for him at times to manage. So, at this point, what we're not going to do is rush him back. We'll be very, very careful with our decision. And physically, while he's travelling okay, we need to know that I guess he's feeling all right in himself, that he can get out there and do himself justice, and there's no little question marks. We want to make sure he's got enough training under his belt, enough contact, and his knee is. I guess I'd add some robust challenges within what we do on Monday to Thursday.
And talking to those guys who've been out for a while, what's the state of play with people like Mikulecki and Nate Petru and Jamie Jones Buchanan? We've not seen him in first team action.
All close, and probably a little bit down to form. When we've had the sort of dip in performance at times, sometimes we give blokes another opportunity, but they're banging on the door. Jonesy, Nate in particular, and Mikulai are around the fringes this week. I know we can only name 19, but with Singo getting rubbed out for a couple of weeks, it will present an opportunity for one of those sort of 3 or 4 guys that we talked about. Cam Smith, while he had a bang on his shoulder, I thought his form were pretty good too before he got hurt. It's fair to say, I'd like to see some game time from all those guys over the next sort of 4 weeks too. I think it's important that we get a look at them before the end of the year. And I know they're all in good nick and chomping at the bit. I will say, I think the boys have been very good on team selection. We spoke a number of weeks about it's team first, and we've got a big, fit and healthy squad at the moment. And sometimes, you pick the horse for the course, or in my case, sometimes it's based on what we're seeing on video, or sometimes just a gut feel that week that this is the right way to go. But I think importantly, the guys have really supported each other, and no one's been sort of kicking stones and had a sort of selfish attitude to team selection. They've been a really good bunch of guys, and as I say, supported each other where that's concerned. So yeah, it'd be nice to reward those guys that are just on the periphery at the moment with some good game time before the end of the year.
And your halfbacks in particular seem to have really settled now together, Richie and Rob.
Yeah, we've Rob's been a great addition for us. Very experienced guy, really comfortable getting his hands on the ball, and we like it when he goes to the game. He really firmly imposes himself, on our performance. But he's given a lot of people confidence around him. It's fair to say that we probably really simplified our game plan. Try not to strip us of the ad lib football, and I think whenever I'm coaching the team, it's important that Leeds DNA, if you like, stays in there. That little bit of unscripted ad lib, play what you see type football. But in terms of structure, we've tried to make it as simple as possible for the guys, so they all know the roles, and put a lot of faith in our halves. Working together in conjunction with our fullback, so they can arrive on as many plays as possible. I think it's helped Jack Walker too. I really think it's helped his role. We've sort of tried to consistently work on our kicking game and strive for some improvements there. I think we've seen some. At the same time, it's probably not where it needs to be in terms of troubling the statsmen to make it number 1, 2 or 3 in the competition. It's still a work in progress, but they are working hard to put themselves in different scenarios and get some better finishes for us, which I think they have over the last couple of weeks too. So as I say, we're a work in progress. There's still plenty to work on, but I think we're heading in the right direction. Acid test for us tomorrow, with the minor premiers coming into town, so it'd be a really good measure of where we're at.
And Luke Briscoe came in last week. Were you pleased with how he went?
Yeah, really pleased. Won us a load of penalties, carrying the ball head first. He seemed to attract a number of head-eye shots. Picked a couple of stitches up in his melon as well for his troubles. But very similar to Tommy really, in that his appetite for work out of backfield the strength in which he carries the ball and his strength in to play the ball. We saw him get a nice quick one that laid the platform for Reece Martin's wonderful try last week. And he's only had 2 games of first grade this year too, but he has been a very consistent performer for Featherstone, as has Ash Golding, Alex Sutcliffe. Wellington Albert's played really well over the last couple of weeks, so it gives us confidence to make a like for like swap, and pretty comfortable that Luke's going to deliver a good performance for us. So he'll get better with more time and feeling more comfortable in our team, but really happy with the way he started last week.